Hooked on Fishing with Wes and Dave Peterson is sponsored by Hardee's.
Welcome to Hooked on Fishing. I'm Michelle, and we do thank Jason and his staff at the Hardee's stores in Hibbing and International Falls for sponsoring the show, featuring made-from-scratch biscuits and hand-breaded chicken tenders, and of course, charbroiled Angus burgers. Hardee's is happy to sponsor Hooked on Fishing. Now that we're sufficiently hungry, it's time to talk about fishing. Wes and Dave are here. Good morning, guys. It is September 30th, so we're at the end of the month.
Hi, how you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. Sure felt like summer this weekend.
Yeah, it's not summer today.
It changes so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's a little windy out there today.
It's very windy. Yeah.
Not even I went fishing.
You did. You don't want to be on the water in this kind of weather.
No, I guess you could have went to the river, but yeah, it's just too windy. I went to the lake and I was bringing somebody, but I called and told him. I said, if I'm seeing whitecaps at the landing, that's telling me I just don't want to deal with that. So I should have went to the river. I probably could have done okay there.
We talked last week that the river isn't so great just yet. Fishing the river. So
it's going to get good. It's just a matter of hitting it at the right time, and we're probably going to get there this week because
I did hear some good report downriver, like halfway to Baudette, past Birchdale.
Okay.
Said I talked to a guy that has a cabin down there, and he said it's been good morning and evening. Middle of the day, no, but.
Okay, so they're in there.
Yeah, and he said he did see one day he saw a lot of shiners too, but that was like one day, and that's the only time he saw them. So things are happening.
But the shiners are going to keep coming up the river.
Yeah,
and the fish will follow them.
Yeah.
So
it's only going to get better from here.
Yes.
Right.
It's supposed to be pretty windy this week.
Okay.
So it might be hard to fish the lake. So probably.
What do the fish do when it's windy? Is it more?
Well, if you can get out there, it's usually good fishing.
They're still eating and they're still there.
Tends to concentrate the food chain, which concentrates the fish, and
so it's more a matter of you battling the wind with your boat and
exactly.
All that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's too windy, you just can't. You can't hold in positions, and I don't really use a anchor anymore. I use what they call the talon. Mm-hmm. So I push a button and a pole goes down and kind of holds you there. But if you get a heavy wind, you just can't hold it. So but
and I suppose your line would be going all over the place then too, right? If you're fishing.
Yeah, we're usually using heavy enough stuff that doesn't affect us. But it's hard to catch crappies in the wind. Really hard. I don't think they sit in the same spots, and if we're fishing logs or something and that log is constantly bouncing up and down, we fished the other day and pretty good wind, and we fished the logs and we didn't do well. So I think we pulled one out of there, so we caught all of them trolling, and that was still pretty good. So
now over the weekend it was still more like summer weather, so were you out on Saturday or Sunday?
Yep, I was.
Saturday we went trout fishing on Saturday.
Trout
fishing,
Hey,
yeah.
Where'd you do that?
Canada. So up on Esox Lake.
Ask who caught the trout.
Who caught the trout, Wes?
I did.
Was that a trick question?
But it was really slow.
We fished for maybe a little over 4 hours, and we started out in a spot we've been doing well, and they weren't in there. And then we went out to some deep water, and Wes dropped his line down at about 100 feet with what we call a Seville.
Seville,
yeah.
What is that?
It's just
not a coop Seville.
It's a minnow-shaped lure, but it's metal, and it's thin, and it vibrates.
And it's very heavy.
Yeah.
But
did you do that because it was going to be so deep?
Yeah. They just get down quicker, but it still took quite a while.
Yeah.
Was that
If-
the only one you caught?
And we caught 2.
You
But
stayed out there for 4 hours for 2 fish?
but if we would have started where we caught the 2, I think we'd have caught a few.
Like it
more.
only the limit's 1 apiece, so
Oh,
So we were 1 short.
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I mean it's deep water, and I like using braid all the time. It just you can feel them better, but Wes said both the ones that hit him, they hit him hard. Daryl was along. We caught a couple of smallmouth bass too. In fact, we were sitting there, and I was casting towards an island, and I looked down in the water, and all of a sudden I seen a whole school of minnows, and they were about all maybe 1.5 inches long, and I'm pretty sure they were real shiny. I think Wes saw them. He looked right at them.
Yeah, I don't know what they were.
But that's what those fish were chasing, because we could see them surface above. We could see them. I mean, I must have seen 10, 15 of them break the water, and that just told me that them fish are feeding on those. So,
Unfortunately, it wasn't trout that was feeding on those. I don't think.
no,
'cause
I think they're bass.
was
Oh,
way
okay.
way too warm water for trout. So I think they'd have to be pretty hungry to come up and into 65. Yeah, it was about 65-degree water.
Which we find very interesting, because that's what Black Bay is, 65-degree water, and but obviously it's not when you get down in the deep water where it's 80 to 100 feet. Things probably change a little bit.
It's probably, I would guess, 48 to 50.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it changes a lot. It's
Yeah.
amazing how much even in the. I guess where I first saw that was when I was working. We used to take in our surveys. The first thing we did was test the oxygen levels at the deepest part of the lake, and we'd go every 3 feet, test every 3 feet, and also record the temperature.
How do they do that, Wes?
Yeah.
What is?
It's just it's a electronic thing. You've got it looks kind of like a transducer you put in the water, but it records the temperature and the oxygen level, and you drop it down, and we have 3-foot marks on the cords. It looks like a heavy extension cord, and you just drop it down, and you need to leave it set for a little while, maybe a minute. I mean, it'll show you the temperature and oxygen usually will drop a little bit, and so you just wait for it to, and that'll tell you when it's stable, like when you've reached the right temperature, and you just record that. But we were on a lake, small lake, east of Orr, and I think the surface temp was, I want to say 62, and the temperature at the bottom of the lake, which I think we were in about 50 plus feet of water there, I think it was 38. So,
Wow.
no, this was in mid-June, so
Oh,
yeah, it's a big difference. Now that might warm up to, I guess, I don't know. I mean, we weren't there in the end of July, August, when it's probably the warmest. But I doubt if that ever got over, the bottom of the lake ever got more than 50, 52 maybe. So yeah, it's kind of interesting what you observe and learn from that. So
Yeah, lots of difference.
we wanted to get one last lake trout fishing, because today is the last day for lake trout fishing for the
okay.
season. So in Ontario, they have season closes. Actually, the other provinces don't close, I guess. I didn't realize that, but you can keep fishing right through the spawning season.
So you could go up to Winnipeg or Manitoba and
Yeah,
fish for trout, but not in Ontario.
correct. So
Good to know those rules.
no, it was fun. I mean, it's a trip up there. We were hoping to see a whole bunch of grouse. I think think we maybe saw 5 total.
Oh,
And one year when Wes and I were up there, we seen over 40. So,
well, they're probably still thinking it's
Too nice.
it's still summer.
yeah.
I saw geese headed north.
Yeah.
I think they probably figured, no, it's not
when you-
summer. Summer's not over yet.
Oh, I did see a brush wolf today.
A brush wolf?
Yeah, coyote, brush wolf.
Oh, I've never heard it called that.
Yeah, yeah. It was
You saw Wiley?
yeah, it was yeah. I was actually going out to the park, and I was gonna go out there fishing, but it was just too windy. So, yeah.
We've
Well, that's cool.
seen a pair of trumpeter swans in Black Bay pretty much all summer. And Friday we saw 3 or 4
4.
young ones,
Oh, wow.
and I'm guessing that, so the pair we saw was usually back and quite a ways back in a bay, and we never went back there fishing because it's pretty shallow. But pretty sure they probably raised those 4 back there.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of funny that they started swimming towards us, and they were light gray colors. We knew they were young.
And they were alone.
Uh-huh.
The adults, the
Weren't-
male and female, weren't with them, and the young ones were west of us. The adults were east of us, and the adults pretty soon they got up and they flew right in or landed by the small ones, and I think they had a chat.
Here's what you do and what
Like-
you don't do.
yeah, it was kind of funny.
It's a teachable moment.
Yeah, they were cackling a little bit, and
Interesting.
And once they landed, they weren't following us anymore. They were going away from. Yeah.
Wow, that's fun.
So
Yeah.
and I've never seen them that size before. Usually you see them.
they're still a little off color, kind
Seems
of
late.
gray.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be bigger by now.
And I'm sure they're ready to take off within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's neat. You guys get to see all kinds of things.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
get
you
out
do.
in the wilds.
yeah, we didn't see any moose or bear on the way up to when you go down the Cedar Narrows Road. You have a chance of seeing bear or moose. We did see one moose this year going in there. In fact, I was right next to the road. So, and I've seen a couple bear this year. And I've had a couple bear in my yard just recently because they keep knocking over my garbage.
Well, you keep putting good stuff in that garbage, and they're going to keep coming.
yeah.
So where are you going this week?
Oh, Wes is.
I'm leaving on a road trip for about 10, 12 days. So
Going to do any fishing on that road trip?
I not planned. No.
Probably not. Okay. So Dave, where are you going fishing?
Tomorrow I'm taking, probably the next 3 days, I'm going to take a guy every day. He's up here from Fargo. So he's,
Rainy Lake.
yeah, if I can get out in the lake, I'll go fish the lake. Otherwise, I'll just take him down to the river. And we have a lot of options in the river. So I'm guessing it's going to get better. So
Well, thank you guys.
thank you.
Yeah.
Stay safe. Wes, have a good trip.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Michelle.
Hooked on Fishing can be heard on the radio every week on The Bridge, on Psalm FM, and on KCC TV in International Falls. You can also listen on demand from our website, psalmfm.org. Hooked on Fishing is sponsored by Hardee's in International Falls and Hibbing.